Under Alabama law, do you have a right to an attorney when the police talk to you? It's not as simple as most people think. Everybody's seen those cop shows with police officers. You have a right to an attorney. One will be appointed for you if you cannot afford a lawyer, blah, 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 blah. Well, it doesn't always work like that in real life. And that's because the law in Alabama says that your right to an attorney only applies during critical stages of a criminal prosecution. What does that mean? So, as far as a lawyer appointed to represent you, if you can't afford a lawyer, what it means is that if a police is talking to you as a potential witness and you're not in custody, and a normal person wouldn't think they were in custody, they don't have to advise you of those Miranda rights. You still have the right to remain silent, but the police don't have to advise you if they're just talking to you as though you were a witness. Where it gets twisty and tricky, and cops know this, is they may treat you like a witness, but they might really think you're a suspect. But if you're not in a custodial situation, they don't have to advise you of those rights. The cop comes up to you and wants to talk to you. He may think that you're probably the guy, but if you're not in custody, he doesn't have to, he can come, hey, are you the guy that robbed that liquor store? You're wearing a bandana, you fit the description. Well, you can answer if you want, but you also don't have to answer, and you don't have a right at that point to a court-appointed lawyer. Now, if you're taken into custody and they want to question you, then that's when that right to counsel attaches. But normally on a pre-arrest situation, they're not going to go to the trouble of getting you a court-appointed lawyer. You're going to have to wait until you're arrested and then talk to a lawyer. So as far as heading it off at the path prior to an arrest, if you don't have the money, you're probably out of luck. Now, if you can afford to talk to a lawyer, you can hire a lawyer at any stage. But yes, is this fair to poor people? Of course not. But it is the way that it is. So just to summarize, a person who cannot afford an attorney and who has not found themselves under a custodial interrogation situation, the police aren't required to advise that person of their rights. The police officer can just ask somebody who they claim they think is a witness. They can ask them questions without advising them of their Miranda rights. If you're in a legal jam and you need our help here in North Alabama, just give us a call at Siegel & Siegel. The phone number's below. I hope you find this video to be helpful and informative. Thank you for watching.